two pictures of interiors, Cornelis de Man, mid-17th century, and wonderful picture by de Lely, end of the 18th century. Big difference, of course, are the colors. De Lely much lighter under influence of the French taste, but there are also many similarities. Look at the composition. A man here with his wife and daughter, a lady there, a smaller figure with a son of the house. Bit of wall covering there, over a painting, there over a clock. Large architectural piece covered there, and a vista through in the middle, so you get some air in the picture. Same thing here. So the composition hasn't changed much over centuries, but the rest did. Also symbolically, here we see a nice family, but the daughter is taught reading. Not just reading, because the apple is a reference to wisdom. No, she's reading in the Bible. So it's very typical Dutch, 17th century. Here in the 18th century, symbolism really has gone out of the picture, and the whole idea is more anecdotal. People love theatre, and what you see here is the girl's gone to the market, bought some fish, and she's counting her money. Wonderful detail is this arrogant little chap who's the son of the owner of the house, and he's looking and checking the servants. Typical for the time that this young boy is allowed into the kitchen. The technique is sublime. Look at the immense amount of detail everywhere visible. It's wonderful. It's just even better than life, and that is what the 18th century artists wanted. They wanted to improve on nature. They wanted to make things more beautiful than nature itself. And that's also very clear in this still life by Jan van Os. It's almost better than life. In fact, the 18th century was the time of the microscope and encyclopedia and the knowledge, so they wanted to improve on nature. They wanted to show that they knew how things were. And if you look at a grape in close-up, you'll see that it's more than a grape. It's almost a marble item. You can't get more detail in the picture. Again, the coloring is much lighter than in the 17th century. A still life is now placed into a park, an idolized park, because it's virtually impossible to have a still life like this. But that didn't really matter. What the 18th century artists wanted was not just nature, not a photograph of nature. They wanted a work of art, which was much better than nature. And they wanted also a splendid decoration in their homes. And just compare it to this still life made a century earlier by Alexander Adriaansen. Big difference, of course, being the black background and the flowers, which are almost taken in a sort of snapshot fashion. An impressionist rather than a very precise painter. Look at these flowers, look at the detail. You can still see the brushstrokes. It's very swiftly painted, and the whole still life seems to move rather than be frozen in paint. Very cleverly done, wonderful composition, exuberant, typical 17th century.